Hi guys, and welcome back to Study with Haniya. Today's video is all about how to get an A star in your bio test or even in your IGs or AS level. Now, the main thing that I've heard about biology from other students, like my friends, are that there's just so much content you cannot cope up. And that is true in AS level. There is a lot and you have to do that in 1 year, but in IGs it's kind of manageable. But even still, if it's hard, here are some of the tips that might help you. So tip number 1, knowing your content. I know it's very repetitive, but you guys need to know whatever you are memorizing. I have seen a lot of people who do not understand the logic behind the concept, but they just memorize. I know memorization will work, but what questions and what the questioners do is that they change the questions every time, every year. Now they can make it more complicated, they can add more stuff into it, so memorization is over here is not the best thing. But however, is very important as well, because you need to know the names and all the processes in biology as well. So the main thing I can tell you guys about this is that whatever kind of a learner you are, whether you're visual, kinesthetic, if you read something, if you touch something, however you guys learn, opt that way and learn your content through that. Now, because I'm a visual learner, what I do is I go and watch different YouTube videos. I have and will put some links down below so you guys can visit those channels, and that's how I study my content. Tip number 2. Right, tip number 2 is to make notes. I know a lot of you guys will be like, making notes is a waste of time, but the thing is, it's not. When you are writing down something, it actually stays in your brain longer than whatever you have watched or whatever you have not revised again. If you write down in your own words, all right, not just copying and pasting, that's not basically making notes. If you summarize and write it in your own words, trust me, you will never ever forget that. You can, the best thing is to make pictures and flowcharts or diagrams or pie charts, anything that helps you guys. Now, I love making pictures because a picture is worth 1,000 words. So that's what I do. In my IGs as well, I used to draw pictures right next to the question, which helped me solve the question. And once you have the picture in your mind, you can do anything. So right now I'll show you one of the flowcharts that I just made for mitosis and meiosis. Not need to know that, but over here, as you can see, I have made a chart, and this actually makes it very helpful for me to study stuff and to know that everything is in there. Now, tip number 3 is all about how to memorize. Now, there are different ways you guys can memorize. My personal favorite is that I use a whiteboard and a marker, and I pretend that there are students in front of me. It might be a little bit weird the first time you guys do this, but trust me, it's amazing. Once you can teach that point or that chapter, it means that it's just there in your brain, embedded. And that's what I do. I make in my head that there are some students in front of me, preferably my friends who are sitting in front of me, and I'm explaining to them the chapter while I use my whiteboards, make diagrams, and explain everything. With that, what happens is that you can 100% say that you are, you have memorized everything and you're done with it. The second thing that I do, and a lot of people do, is making flashcards. Now, there are different ways to make flashcards, and I will be posting a video on that. But over here, I'm just going to tell you that your flashcards are or have to be the most concise thing that you've ever done or written. So like over here you see it's just literally 6 or 7 flashcards, and these are the whole 2 chapters in AS level. So what I do is I put them in different, like according to the units in my book, I put them and organize them. And on one side I have the question, right, like this one, and on the other side I would have the answer, but very concise with pictures as well. Because I'm a visual learner, I make the most of it, and so should you. If you are a visual learner, if you are a person who reads a lot, or whatever it is that you guys do, just do that, all right? Because at the end of the day, you are the one who will be revising before the exams, or you know, doing their revision. And if you get bored and you get demotivated, I don't know, will you ever go back to that chapter again? So just make it as interesting as you can, but not wasting a lot of time on that, because time is money. Alright, so this next tip is that you guys need to revise. Now, I've said that in my earlier videos as well, in the planning video where you have to make days for revision. This is a key factor in biology, because biology is all memorization and knowing your content. So it's all about getting that stuff up in here. And what I do is I keep, after every 3 to 4 weeks, I keep 2 or 3 days just for revision, just for memorization, anything that I've not memorized, revision again and again. I use my flashcards, I use my notes, I talk to myself, I talk to the imaginary students in front of me. So you just need to revise again and again, because you, at the end, you don't want you revising a night before and just sitting up all night memorizing. That's not going to go in your mind. That's crap. No, it won't. So what you need to do is revise beforehand and do that daily, so it is in your long-term memory. All right, next tip is to do past papers. Now, I cannot stress this enough. I have seen students who are amazing with the content, who know everything forwards, backwards, any direction, they know it. But when it comes to past papers, they don't do it because they think they know everything, so they do not need to do it. That's not true. You guys need to do past papers, and those students do deserve A stars, but they don't get A stars just because they have not practiced the past papers. Past paper questions have very, very specific answers, and for you guys to know how to answer the question is one of the main things about iGCSEs and A-level examinations. You need to read up on the marking schemes, on the examiner's guide or reports, and you need to know what you are doing. You need to know what you have to write, where do you have to write, how do you have to write, and every mark counts for 1 point. So what I used to do is there is no negative marking, right? So I used to just write it down, everything that I know about it. I used to make first a picture right next to the question, and I would usually highlight the main parts of the questions or the keywords, so I know what I'm writing about or what my question is. Because a lot of people in a hurry, they don't read the question, and I understand there's a lot of pressure and there's a clock in front of you which is ticking really loudly. I know that. I have been in that situation. But you guys need to practice in this way, so that on that day, even though there's pressure, there's time, whatever, you can do that paper. You need to practice that way. Use time, put on timers, and also at the end, when you're checking your past papers, do it with another pen, and know where you're going wrong, what is right, and give yourselves marks at the end. There's no shame, because you're the only one who's doing that past paper. So even though if you don't get good marks, there's always time for improvement. Alright, so this is the end of the video. I hope you guys found those tips really helpful, and if you have any other tips which you might think other people will find helpful, you can put them down in the comments below. And like this video, share it, subscribe it, and follow my channel. I hope you liked today's videos, and I'll see you the next time.